Hello and welcome to Precon Decon, the video series where I deconstruct the pre-constructed decks of Magic the Gathering's history. In this video we're going to keep looking at Eldritch Moon. We're going to move on and look at Untamed Wild, which is a red and green deck. Let's take a look at the deck list. So we've got 20 creatures, 7 instants, 3 sorceries, 5 enchantments, 25 land, mana co off to the side there. So let's start looking at the cards in the deck. So, kind of like we had in original Innistrad block, we have to address the werewolf in the room. So, yeah, when we go to Innistrad, green-red is usually the archetype for werewolves. Of course, werewolves transform; they're dual-sided cards, which is something they just don't do in introductory decks like this because it requires either having to use sleeves or like some kind of like substitute card. So basically it means you can't play it straight out of the box. Like you have to do a bit of prep first. So it means whenever we do a red-green Innistrad deck, we kind of have to fudge things a little bit. And actually I think an original Innistrad or Dark Ascension was the one that had the red-green deck. That did a pretty good job of kind of avoiding the werewolf problem by making a deck all about the undying mechanic. And it ended up actually being fairly solid, I think. I think it did a pretty good job of avoiding using werewolves. Here, though, we'll see. We'll see as we get into it. It's kind of, spoiler, it's just kind of generic red-green aggro with a minor werewolf theme. But obviously wolf, because there are no werewolves in the deck. So let's just get to it and start looking at it. So the foil face rare is Assembled Alphas. So 5 and a red for a 5/5. So big chunky wolf boy. When assembled alphas block or become blocked by a creature, they deal 3 damage to that creature and 3 damage to that creature's controller. So, like, really, like that's like a pretty strong effect, I think. Because like that just means no one wants to block it, right? Because then it can take down an X8 whenever it blocks or becomes blocked, and also then bolts the creature's controller as well. So I think a lot of the time you would just let this through, right? And just suck up 5 rather than them instantly killing, potentially whatever chump blocks them, because it is any creature. It's like, so even if you don't want to like chump block it with a bunch of creatures, a bunch of tokens, because then that's multiple triggers. I think that's how the rules would work. Yes, because otherwise it would say, yeah, it's blocked by a creature, otherwise it'd be every time it just gets blocked, right? I think. I don't know. I've gone into a weird rules vortex there. Anyway, I think it's really solid. I think it's like just a solid, casual kitchen table rare. Yeah, I think it's good. So the other rare is Silver Fur Partisan. So 2 and a green for a 2/2 with trample, which is very always feels a little sad when something only has 2 power and trample. But whenever a wolf or werewolf you control becomes the target of an instant or sorcery spell, you make a wolf token. Which is kind of there's a lot of things in here that make wolf tokens, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, this is okay. It does also notice that like it's a target of a instant or sorcery spell from anywhere. It doesn't have to be like from your opponent or just you. It is just any instant or sorcery spell. So that's okay, I think. You got a few buff spells in the deck as well, so it's nice that every buff spell is also going to make a wolf token. So that's okay. We got 2 Howlpack Wolf, 2 and a red for 3/3. Can't block unless you control another wolf or werewolf, which is fine. I don't think. I mean, you've actually got a fair number of wolves in the deck, but I think mostly you're just here to use it as a 3/3 for 3, which is perfectly fine as an aggressive creature. And then we've got 3 Brazen Wolves, 2 and a red for a 2/3. Whenever it attacks, gets +2/+0 for turn. Sure, so it goes up to 4/3 when it attacks, which is fine. Yeah, not much to say about it. It's just standard kind of red creature that gets a power boost when it attacks. That's fine. And then 2 Quilled Wolf, 1 and a green for a 2/2, so a bear, and gets you can spend 5 and a green to get it +4/+4 to end turn. So a good mana sink late game to shoot it all the way up to being a 6/6. So again, fine. And then obviously we ran out of wolves because now we're moving on to elks. So we got we've got 2 Somberweld stags. So 3 and double green for a 4/3. When it enters the battlefield, you may have it fight target creature you don't control, which is a really solid effect actually, especially on having 4 power as well. So yeah, it's basically like a removal spell, and if it sticks around, then it's a 4/3. Like This could have been a wolf though, right? Like in terms of if you wanted to stick with the whole like wolf werewolf kind of tribe and singes and stuff, this could have been a wolf. This didn't need to be an elk, but yeah, that's such a small quibble. Then we've got a single Noose Constrictor, 1 and a green for a 2/2 with reach. You can discard a card to give it +1/+1 to learn 10. From what I remember, I don't think you have anything like Madness in here or anything that really benefits from being discarded, but at least, yeah, it can kind of do a bad Wild Mongrel impression, and like you do have a full hand and it attacks and it's unblocked, you just dump your whole hand. Yeah, at least that's an option, right? It's better to have it and not use it than need it and not have it, right? I suppose. And also it's just a 2/2 reach, so it's fine. We've got 2 Primal Druid, 1 and a green for a 0/3. When it dies, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. Yep, we have Secure Tribe Elder at home. It's just not as good because it can't, you can't reliably twig that ability. Because I don't think you really have any like sacrifice effects or anything, so you just have to like sort of chump block with it and hope it dies, and then you get the ramp ability. But it's still okay. It's still okay, I suppose. And then we've got 2 Bold Impalers, 1 red mana for 1/2, and spend 2 in a red to give it +2/+0 to learn 10. Sure, that's fine. Again, like a nice like mana sink, I suppose. We've got 2 Fury Blade Vampires, 1 in a red for a 1/2 with trample. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may discard a card. If you do, it gets +3/+0 to learn 10. So it goes up to being a 4/2 trample, which is, again, that's fine, I suppose. It's all right. Just kind of straightforward. A single Mad Prophet, 3 in a red for 2/2 with haste. Tap, discard a card and draw a card. So yeah, like just a rummage effect. Sure, like discard excess lands or something to find, creatures or spells or whatever, I suppose. And a single Voldaren Duelist, 3 in a red for 3/2 with haste. When it ends the battlefield, target creature can't block this turn, which is nice. Obviously the dream scenarios play this on where they only have one creature that can block and it just swings through for 3 straight away. Sure, it's okay. Right, and then non-creature spells. So 2 Prey Upon with lovely spaghetti monster werewolf art. So 1 green mana, target creature you control fights target creature you don't control, like the most straightforward, simple fight effect. I really like this card. I think it's maybe unfair, but I do compare every fight spell to this because it's like the benchmark, right? It's 1 green mana for the effect. You've got a bunch of creatures in here that can, they're either high power or can increase their power. So I think you can get like a lot of mileage out of this. We've got a single Clear Shot, 2 and a green. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 to end turn, and then it deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control, so a one-sided fight effect. Yeah, that's fine. It's nice, gives the power toughness boost before doing it. So yeah, that's okay. And a single Clip Wings, 1 and a green, instant. Each opponent sacrifices a creature with flying, like a green edict effect. Sure, it's fine. Maybe a bit niche, but sure. A single Rush of Adrenaline, 1 red mana to give target creature +2/+1 and trample to turn 10. Yep, really just straightforward pump spell. Really wish there'd been more than one though. It's a shame there's only one. A single Uncaged Fury. Again, it's a shame there's only one of these. Again, would have been nice to have more than one. 2 in a red, target creature +1/+1 and gains double strike turn 10, which is like really, really solid pump spell here. So yeah, I like that. Again, just such a shame there's only one of them though. And then 2 Blood Mist, 3 in a red enchantment. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets double strike turn 10. This is really nice, especially get both of them out. That's really great. Just being able to give basically the creature who needs it the most, like double strike every turn repeatedly for no further mana investment. Really solid, I think. I mean, there is the downside. Obviously, your opponent sees it coming. Like you're not doing it in the middle of combat after like blocks are declared or whatever. But I think it's fine. Single Lightning Axe, 1 red mana, as additional cost to cast it, you have to discard a card or pay 5, and it does 5 damage to a creature. Yep, sure, okay, it's just a shame there's no like Madness cards in here to like really benefit from the discard. But again, you just discard like a land or just, one of your creatures that you don't need as much, I suppose. Like doing 5 damage to a creature for only 1 red mana is not to be sneezed at. So yeah, this is okay. A single Magmatic Chasm, so 1 in a red sorcery creature without flying can't block this turn. This is where I have my standard thing where I really overrate this ability because it seems really good to me, like 2 mana to remove a bunch of blockers, and I think it is good. And I heartily welcome any comments that prove me wrong about why this effect isn't really good for only 2 mana. But yeah, I think it's solid, especially in this deck where you've got a bunch of creatures on the ground anyway. And then 2 Spreading Flames, super expensive burn spell, 6 and a red. And he's like, you don't really have any ramp in this deck actually, so it's a really weird inclusion to have. Yeah, so 6 and a red, instant. So instant speed kind of helps it. Does 6 damage to devices you choose amongst any number of type creatures. So obviously, again, the dream scenario is like a 6-for-1 here. You just kill off like 6 X1s. Or just, I mean, being able to divide 6 damage is like pretty good, right? I think. But yeah, it's so expensive, and I don't think there needs to be 2 of them in the deck because I think it does. There is a real danger of it clogging up the hand. But yeah, I mean, like it's still an okay spell. And then 3 Wolfkin Bond. I'm really confused why there's 3 of them in here because I don't think the deck needs 3 of them because it's quite expensive at 5 mana. It's an aura that goes on a creature. When it enters the battlefield, you make a wolf token, and then the enchanted creature gets +2/+2. So, I mean, you could argue that's probably like 5 mana of value, right? Because, I mean, is it though? Actually, I don't know. Maybe a little overcosted actually at 5. But yeah, I don't think the deck needed 3 of these. Honestly, I think it could have just been better off just having more creatures rather than a kind of subpar aura like this. But I mean, it's okay, I suppose. I mean, it makes a creature more threatening. But I think really what the deck needed was more just instant speed combat tricks like pump spells and stuff. But yeah, whatever. And then 13 mountains and 12 forests. Yeah, so it's a very lackluster red green aggro, I think. And it feels very pile of cards, you know. Like we sort of started off okay by having like this kind of like wolf werewolf theme, and then it kind of dissolved completely as we went on. So let's talk about what could have been. It seems crazy to me because right, there's like so many like actual like wolf Sinji cards that could have had instead. Although admittedly, actually now I see it, these are not Eldritch Moon cards, these are all Shadows of Innistrad, so maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I mean the real answer is just don't do a red green deck if there's not really the tools to do it, but yeah. We gotta have color balance, I suppose. But yeah, some alternatives. If we're going to stick with the wolf theme, Ulrich's Kindred as 2 in a red for 3/2 with trample, and you can spend 3 in a green to give an attacking wolf or werewolf indestructible until end of turn, which is pretty solid, I think. Howl Pack Resurgence is 2 in a green. It's an enchantment with flash, and every creature you control that's a wolf or a werewolf gets +1/+1, has trample. And finally, Moonlight Hunt, 1 in a green, instant. Choose target creature you don't control. Each creature you control that's a wolf or a werewolf deals damage equal to its power to that creature. They will just pile on it. So yeah, if you wanted to do like just red green wolves, there were tools available there. But although I say, admittedly, these are all Shadows over Innistrad cards, which I mean, in that case, why wasn't this in the previous set? Why wasn't this in Shadows over Innistrad rather than that like completely awful white-red deck, which was like an absolute mess? This could have been there, and then we could have had like a white-red one here, I guess. I don't know, but yeah. So yeah, overall, it's just very bland, isn't it? Which I mean, like the zombie one we looked at last time, just kind of it's just there. It's not doing anything too exciting. It's just red green aggro, which is, I mean, we've seen it, a load of times, and red green aggro can be very good. And I liked the potential this had for being like having this wolf tribal, because that's always kind of there, right? With when you have werewolves, you also have wolves as well. And I know you can't do werewolves in these intro packs because they're double face cards. But yeah, you could have just done like red green wolves, and the tools were there, but yeah, for some bizarre reason they decided to put in Eldritch Moon and fill it with a bunch of other completely unrelated random cards. But I suppose it's fine. It probably would have played absolutely fine. It's red green aggro, but yeah, it's just very boring, isn't it, to me personally? But what are your thoughts on this deck after seeing it? If you have any thoughts or stories or comments, opinions about the deck or any of the cards in it, stick a comment below. I'll give those a read. But I'll be back next time. I'm going to look at the last Eldritch Moon intro pack and the last intro pack full stop. So there we go. You don't want to miss that one. So yeah, I'll be back next time. But until then, thanks for watching and listening, and have a great day.